I saw my close friend touch my wife inappropriately when he thought no one was looking, but my wife didn't react the way I thought she would, and now I think they've been having an affair. Posted by you/throwaway account. My wife, 30F, and I, 32M, just returned from a long weekend camping trip with two other couples, friends we've known for years. We had a great time, but something happened the morning we left that I can't shake. We were all packing up, getting ready to head back home. I was loading our car, when I looked up and saw my wife and my friend. They were at the campsite, several feet away. She was bent over to pick something up, and in that split second, I saw him reach out and squeeze her hip, sliding his hand down to her backside. My wife quickly pushed his hand away, but she didn't look upset. She was smiling at him, almost playfully. It all happened so fast, maybe a second or two, but it felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I glanced around, but no one else seemed to have seen it. His wife was busy packing up their car, and the other couple was further away, chatting about the ride back. The drive home was quiet. My wife tried making conversation, but I couldn't focus. My mind kept replaying that scene over and over. When she asked why I was so quiet, I lied and said I was just thinking about work. The truth is, I was in shock. I didn't want to bring it up. If I mentioned it, she might tell me I was imagining things, that I was being ridiculous. The rest of the day I felt like I was just moving on autopilot. I barely slept last night and can hardly focus at work today. My mind keeps racing, questioning every detail. Aside from what I saw, the rest of the trip was great and nothing seemed out of place. A part of me is wondering if I read the whole situation wrong. But, the look on her face, that smile, it was too friendly, too casual for something that crossed a line like that. I love my wife to death. We've been together since freshman year of college, and I've never had reason to doubt her. She's my best friend. But now, for the first time, there's this knot in my gut that I can't untangle. I've never been the type to snoop. I've always trusted her completely. But right now, I'm sitting here, wondering if I should check her phone. It's password protected, so even if I wanted to, I don't know how I'd do it without her finding out. This is eating me up and I know I need to do something about it. Would I be the jerk to go through her phone? And even if I wanted to, how can I if it is password protected? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. When you know, you know. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. I'm sorry for the pain you are about to experience, but it is necessary. Do not be a sucker, sir. Best of luck to you. Commenter 2. Trust your gut instinct. My sister-in-law was having an affair with her husband's best friend. My brother-in-law finally saw a glance between the two, and he knew. She admitted they had been having an affair for over a year. He doesn't believe in divorce. He stayed with that untrustworthy mess. You're not the jerk. Update 4 days later. Long story short, I found out last week that my wife of 4 years, we've been together for 12 years, has been cheating on me with my friend. Although the manner in which I found out was coincidental, I later discovered all the proof I needed to know that she is definitely cheating. I haven't confronted her about it yet. They are still very much in contact and sending each other messages, including explicit content. I am not angry, yet. I am hurt, deeply, when I think about it. But for the most part, I just feel numb. When my parents died a few years ago, I felt a similar way right after, as I struggled to process my grief. So, I know the full force of my emotions will surface soon. In the meantime, I am following the advice to get my ducks in a row, finding a lawyer and making sure everything is in place before I confront her. My brain is thinking and planning ahead, but my emotions haven't caught up yet. So, I want to take advantage of the time I have now to collect as much information as possible to make an informed decision. I know I sound methodical and maybe heartless, but right now it just feels like whatever feelings I should have, knowing my wife has been, and still is, cheating on me, are not there. And for now, it is protecting me from the harsh reality of my situation. Before I begin feeling the full depth of her betrayal and becoming emotionally vulnerable, I want to ask those who have been where I am now, how did you decide to stay with or leave your cheating partner? For reference, I am 32, she is 30, and we don't have kids. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Hi op. From my experience and my thoughts, the decision to stay is not mine, it was hers, and she made that decision when she cheated. She replaced you for validation, intimacy, and companionship. My mindset was/is that she chose what she wanted and then acted on it. It doesn't matter, any excuses or pledges of sorry or one more chance. At that point, they are only motivated by shame or regret because they don't want to be the bad person. She chose to love and act with another person and didn't have the spine to live with that decision and tell you. It was not to spare you the hurt. It was to spare her the embarrassment. Bottom line, she already decided for you. You can accept that and move forward as quickly as you can, or extend the mess by fighting what is already lost and then end in the near future anyway. Just remember that you were in the same relationship, with the same flaws as her, but you kept choosing her. It's time to change that since she chose another guy. When it's time to confront, never say what you know or how you found out. It's not your place to say, it's hers. You should have just two sayings: you are not telling the truth and you are not telling the whole story. I say this because it will be the only way for you to measure the honesty from her. She will gaslight you. Second update 1 day later. I've been keeping it together since I found out last week. But this morning, it finally hit me. What triggered it was something so insignificant, so stupid. I was sitting in my office at home, going through emails, and before she left for work, she brought me a mug of coffee, wished me a good day, and gave me a kiss. I realized everything I was about to lose, and that was it. That was my undoing. All the feelings I had been successfully keeping at bay came at me in full force: the sadness, the anger, the rage. And I just bawled for hours after she left. I just thought about the life we built together over the last 12 years. I don't know if I'll ever get a satisfactory answer to explain how she could do this to me. I am still tracking her movements and their conversations through her iPad, which haven't stopped. They met up yesterday, initially planned to go to a motel, but she ended up going to his house when his wife had to make an urgent trip to visit her sick mother. They disgust me. I am so angry at her. At both of them. Not only do I have to contend with losing her, I am also losing a close friend. This man stood by me on our wedding day as he watched us exchange vows, and he stood next to me while I buried my parents. 12 years gone down the drain because both of them couldn't keep it in their pants. Op adds an edit to his post. Please don't tell me I need to leave her. I will. I still have several consultations with different lawyers to go through in the coming days before I settle on the right one and begin the divorce process. I just needed to type this out to a bunch of strangers because this is unbelievably hard, and I feel as though the weight of this burden is going to crush me. I lost my parents 2 years ago, and now I am about to lose the only family I have left. I am not okay. No, scratch that. I am pretty effing depressed. And to top it off, I have to keep it together and maintain my act until she is served, when all I want to do is effing scream. Third update 8 days later. Found her iPad, it didn't have a password, so I got in, and it's still connected to her phone. She has Telegram on it. They've been chatting on there. I'm still going through the messages, but she is cheating. I'm not falling apart yet, I'm trying to keep it together to make the correct next move without messing this up. What do I do? Do I confront her when she gets home? Do I go to his house and confront him? Please help. Op adds an edit to his post. Thank you all for your advice. I didn't tell her anything. I've locked myself in my home office under the pretense of needing to catch up on work. She is not suspicious. I kept the iPad with me, she hasn't used it in so long she won't even know it's missing. I took pictures of all their messages using my phone as a safety measure as well. They've been chatting for at least 8 months, as far as I can tell. Telegram seems to be their main communication channel. They've sent each other nudes, sex messages, and made plans to make their relationship official after leaving me and his wife. I can't believe she would do this to me. From the messages, I saw she had sent him a sexy, suggestive photo of herself on her way to the gym earlier this evening, and when she got back home, she started kissing me, wanting sex. I declined, saying I needed to get work done. I am confused right now and unable to think clearly, so I will follow the advice I've received: lawyer, gather evidence. I will work on those. I also saw several comments advising me to separate my finances from hers. We co-own the apartment we live in and have joint bank accounts. My parents died in a car crash 2 years ago and left me a large inheritance, which she knows about. She does not have access to the money in that fund. Is there anything I need to do to protect myself there if it comes to that point? We don't have kids yet. Op adds a second edit to his post. I work from home sometimes and didn't have any meetings this morning, so I spent it researching and calling lawyers. I have 2 consultations lined up for tomorrow, but the majority couldn't book me in until next week. I will tell his wife and show her proof as soon as I settle on a lawyer and get myself covered first. Once she's been informed, I'll give her time to get her affairs in order and secure a lawyer, if that's what she wants to do, before I decide what to do next, such as confronting my wife. I don't understand how I'm feeling. I'm not angry for some reason, more numb, maybe. Sick and nauseous when I think of the messages I've read, especially the sex messages. I just feel like I'm doing the things I need to be doing right now, but it's almost like I'm living somebody else's life. I don't know how long I can keep up the poker face without her noticing something is up. Thanks for your messages and support. Op adds a third edit to his post. Guys, I am humbled by all the messages and advice I've received. Not much has happened since yesterday. Just keeping myself busy with work and the gym. The anniversary of my parents' passing is coming up in about a month, and she obviously knows this, so when she asked why I seemed off, I just told her I was thinking about them. I have consultations with several lawyers lined up, most next week, a few this afternoon. I'll update after I settle on a lawyer and know what my options are. Op adds a fourth edit to his post. I found a hell of a lawyer who managed to draft my divorce papers within days. They were filed this morning. I'm in a no-fault jurisdiction, which means all the evidence of infidelity I gathered can't be used in court. The good news is that my inheritance is safe because I didn't use the money for marital expenses. Our condo was a wedding gift, bought by both our parents. Each side contributed 50% of the down payment, so one of us will have to buy the other out or we both sell it. I called my ex-friend's wife on Saturday and asked to meet her for coffee. I chose that day because, ironically, her husband and my wife had gone on an overnight trip together. I found out from their messages on the iPad. The lies they were going with were, my wife was staying at her sister's for the weekend to help with the kids while her sister's husband was away on a business trip, and her husband was going away for a work-related project. The truth was, my wife and her husband were taking a trip out of town together and staying at a hotel, all paid for by the Casanova himself. I showed her their messages on the Telegram app, pictures included, all of it. She told me she had noticed him feeling distant and withdrawn a few months ago. She thought it was just work stress and had no reason to suspect he was cheating. Finding out that her husband was in fact cheating, and with my wife, who is also her friend, came as a blow to her. We chatted some more, and I gave her my lawyer's number as she considers her options. Sunday night, my wife returned from her sister's house. She walked through the door and greeted me with kisses, saying she missed me. After she had spent the weekend with her lover. Her ability to compartmentalize is almost diabolical. I sat her down and told her we needed to talk. I had the whole conversation recorded without her knowledge. Following my lawyer's advice, I live in a one-party consent state. Here's how it went. I asked her to promise to be honest with me. Of course, baby, but she was nervous. Then I asked her a series of questions. Do you love me? Yes. Are you happy with me? Yes, of course, baby. Have I been a good husband to you? Do I treat you right? Yes and yes. What the hell is going on? Please humor me. Okay. Have I ever done anything to hurt you, whether physically or emotionally? No, of course not. WTF? Okay, so, if you're happy with me, then why are you cheating on me? She stared at me in shock for a good minute and then immediately started denying it. This went on for a little while, and then I just told her to drop the act because I found out the truth. Eventually, she broke down and admitted to kissing a guy who had been hitting on her at a bar during a night out with her girlfriend a few months ago. I don't know why, but at this point, I started laughing because the whole thing was just absurd. She not only cheated on me, she had taken every opportunity she could find to cheat on me. I asked her if that was the only time she cheated. She swore up and down that it was the only time, that it was a moment of weakness, that she was drunk, and that it had meant nothing. I said nothing. I gave her my lawyer's business card and said I filed for divorce. I hadn't yet. I wanted to talk to her just once first to see if there was anything left of our marriage to salvage, and that if she wanted to reach me, she should call my lawyer. She cried, begged, apologized, and then, when I started packing a suitcase, she shifted to gaslighting me, saying I was throwing away everything we had over a mistake. And the worst part of what she said was that I had no one else in the world. Why would I leave the only family I had left? This stung because I told her she was my only remaining family after my parents died and there was no one else I could depend on, only for her to throw those very words back in my face. I left that night for a hotel where I am staying until I find a new apartment. Yesterday, I officially filed for divorce. Fourth update 1 week later. Some updates from the last time I posted. My wife was served the divorce papers last week. I am still at the hotel and close to finding a new apartment. Last week, when I left, I forgot to take the iPad with me. I picked it up when I went back a couple of days later to grab clothes and other stuff. Apparently, my wife had a fallout with her friend who was with her at the bar, accusing her of being the one who told me about her kiss with that hot guy. Her friend is no longer speaking with her, it seems. After everything went down, my ex-friend's wife threw her husband out, and he's been staying at his sister's place. She and I have been talking. She found a lawyer and is filing for divorce. She has informed our few common friends about what's been going on, and they've all cut off contact with them. Also, the cheating prick came by my place and spent the night with my wife twice last week. She has also been messaging my ex-friend's sister, who, it turns out, knew about the affair. My wife apparently found a lawyer and was complaining to his sister that her lawyer explained the asset division and confirmed she has no claim on my inheritance, and that she thought that was unfair. Now, here's the gut punch. All those conversations about finding an apartment together and becoming official have significantly cooled since my wife's visit to her lawyer, which I found odd. A few days ago, I got a message from her asking if we could put a pause on the divorce proceedings. She said she loves me, thinks we're being crazy about this, and that everyone deserves a second chance. She even hit me with the "I can't live without you" BS. If I didn't have the iPad, I might have thought she was genuinely remorseful. But knowing what she's been up to all week, I knew this only came after she realized she won't be entitled to a cent of my inheritance. Honestly, that effing hurt. I am following my lawyer's advice, who told me not to respond. The more I think about it, The more disgusted I am by her, my friend, and his sister. The fact that her change of heart seems to stem entirely from her discovery that she won't touch my inheritance is beyond disturbing. I always intended to use that money for a trust fund if we had kids, something I told her countless times. I didn't touch it because it reminded me of the trauma of losing my parents. The level of disrespect she has shown not only to me but also now to my parents, who loved her and treated her like a daughter, is truly foul. I'm just glad they're not here to see this. I met up with my ex-friend's wife over the weekend. She's my friend too, and she's been going through a rough time, especially with her mom's health issues on top of this whole mess. I told her about the messages. Long story short, she had been reconsidering the divorce after her husband tried to reconcile with her. But once I showed her the messages about my inheritance and pointed out how their messages have cooled, she saw things differently. She also shared something that struck me. Apparently, a few months after my parents passed, her husband had made a comment about how I was a lucky son of a beach for inheriting their money. She confronted him then, shocked he would call me lucky after losing them, and he backtracked, claiming he didn't mean it that way. At the time, she brushed it off, but now she is second-guessing his motives. It seems far-fetched, but it's starting to sound like my wife thought she would get her some after divorcing me and start a new life with him. Either way, their behavior is despicable. I have been trying to look after myself. I started therapy, I've been going to the gym almost obsessively, and trying to stay away from alcohol. I am trying so hard to put on a strong exterior. Some of my friends have said it's a little scary how cold I've been, but it's the only way I can go about my day-to-day without losing my mind. The nights are very rough. I struggle with sleep, I sometimes drink to help me through it, I'm not proud, and sometimes, I cry myself to sleep. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. He might have gone after your wife only because of the money, too. I find it suspicious that your wife learned she can't touch the inheritance, and now the affair partner is wanting to reconcile with his wife. Could be unrelated, though. Ops response. I don't know if that's why they started the affair, but his wife and I both think that's why he came crawling back to her, and the same reason she won't reconcile with him. Commenter 2. I would have to agree that he most likely went after your wife and seduced her after he found out about your inheritance and convinced her that she would have gotten half of it through a divorce. Now that she knows she won't get a dime of it, he is most likely trying to send her back to you, making her think that they will still have some sort of relationship behind your back while she believes that he still cares for her. Meanwhile, he will try to return to his wife and undo the damage he caused in his marriage, since he believes it is more of a safety net for him at this time. Stay strong and keep the divorce moving forward. Good luck, and I wish you well. Fifth update 1 week later. 2 years ago today, I lost my parents in a car crash. It was then that I learned how fickle and unfair life can be. 1 minute, your loved ones are here, the next, they're gone. I clung to my only remaining family, my wife, for dear life. I leaned on my friends, especially my best friend, who supported me. What I never expected was to find myself here, on the second anniversary of their passing, counting the people I've lost. Today, I have 2 fewer parents, 1 fewer wife, and 1 fewer best friend. I've never felt more alone. I've never felt more broken. Sixth update 5 days later. I punched her affair partner, my former friend. It was not planned. I've been trying to keep my cool, but he just had to see me and apologize. As I was leaving the office earlier today and walking over to my car, I saw him parked nearby. When I got closer, he got out and walked over to me, asking to talk. I told him to get back in his car and drive away, that I had no interest in what he had to say. The effing nerve on the guy. He just stood there, blocking my car, apologizing for what he'd done. He kept saying that it just happened and neither he nor my wife did it out of malicious intent, that it kind of just happened, that they didn't mean to hurt me, that he wished we could move past it and be civil. I told him to move, but he ignored me and kept talking. I snapped and grabbed him by the shirt, shoved him away, and then I punched him. He tripped and fell. I know I hurt him because his nose was bleeding. It took everything in me not to pummel him. Instead, I got in my car and drove home. It's been hours since this happened, and I was reeling at first. It felt good to finally hurt him, and I wanted to do more. But now, I feel like crap for losing control, and a part of me is worried about potential consequences to this, like whether he'll press charges. But I couldn't help it. The anger had been building since Saturday night when I was out with friends at the bar we all used to go to together, my soon-to-be ex-wife and him too, and we ran into them there, together. They were clearly embarrassed to be seen together in public and couldn't get out of there quickly enough. And thankfully, my friends pulled me away before anything escalated. But I had already been really angry over this, so when he showed up in front of my workplace today, I lost it. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. How deprived they are to come to a regular place all your friends go. They have no face and dignity. I believe they don't feel shame, they just can't cope with the fact that they are ostracized by their former friends. If your friends hadn't sided with you, they would proudly parade all over town. That being said, what you did was self-defense. If you were to lose control, you would have pummeled the crap out of him. Ops response. I don't know if it's the affair fog, but the way they are parading themselves is absolutely shameless. Commenter 2. It just happened? They had no malicious intent? They didn't mean to hurt you? Like, WTF. How does an 8-month-long affair just happen? And how could they even think you wouldn't get hurt? That's just stupid. I would lose my crap too. I don't think his apology was genuine, he just wanted things to magically go back to normal, with you taking her back and reconciling, maybe after finding out they aren't getting anything from your inheritance. Ops response. I don't believe it's genuine either. I don't know why he did it or what he hoped to achieve by coming to my workplace, but he couldn't possibly have thought I'd be forgiving him and moving on. Maybe he did it to assuage his guilt, I don't know. Commenter 3. He wants his social life back. Everyone in the group turned on him. He only wanted your wife because of the inheritance. I would literally laugh in her face when you're officially divorced and share that tidbit of information about how he said you were lucky and how he tried to get back with his wife after finding out it was untouchable. 7th update 9 days later. My soon-to-be ex-wife told me she was pregnant. I was blindsided by this information, as there were no messages about a pregnancy on the iPad. Her periods have always been irregular, and she said she didn't pay attention to when she missed her period last month. She sent me a picture of her sonogram, which she had done earlier this week, indicating she was 7 weeks pregnant. She said she took a pregnancy test some time ago, not sure when, which came back positive, but wanted to wait for the sonogram to find out how far along she was before she said anything. I haven't had sex with her since October, the 11th, to be exact. She says she really feels that the baby is mine, whatever that means, and is hopeful that this will be our chance to start over together. She even told her family at Thanksgiving yesterday. She is not on good terms with her parents, so our contact has been minimal, but they, and her sister, have messaged to congratulate me today. I don't love this woman anymore, and I don't want to be with her. I don't even know if this baby is mine, as she's been effing another guy for the past 10 months. She is supposed to be on birth control, we weren't trying for a baby. I was planning for a clear break from her, and now, if this child is mine, I will be sucked right back in. But right now, I don't know if she is manipulating me to get back together with her, not sure why she wants that, since she clearly wanted to be with her affair partner, or if it's a new scheme to get financial support. I don't know. If it is mine, I will be there for my baby and make sure they have the best damn life possible, and I am even considering stopping the divorce process and getting back together with her, not for her, but for the sake of the baby. My kid deserves to have both parents in their life, and I refuse to have her affair partner in my kid's life. I haven't told my lawyer about this yet, and I will ask her for a DNA test to confirm that the baby is mine. I feel so lost. I'm hoping everyone else's Thanksgiving was better than mine. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I believe it's possible to get a paternity test to confirm if you are the father. Did she explain why she thinks it's your baby if she is sleeping with the affair partner? Ops response. No. There is no way she can know, it's probably wishful thinking. She was pissed when she found out she won't be entitled to my inheritance with our impending divorce. I think she is hoping it's my child for the financial security. Commenter 2. Isn't it suspicious she wouldn't text her sister any of this? That she suspected she might be pregnant? That a store P test came back positive? Never texted anyone? Extremely suspicious. Ops response. That's what blows my mind. She doesn't know about the iPad yet, but when I asked her if she told anyone, she said no, she wanted me to be the first to know once she confirmed the pregnancy because she is sure it's mine. I don't know why, and I don't trust her. Additional info from Op. I said nothing that could incriminate me in the very brief conversation we had. I denied it was my child to her and said she should be informing him instead. When she doubled down and said, "You're in shock now, but when you finally realize you're about to become a dad and this could be our chance to get back together," I said nothing and ended the conversation. 8th update 2 weeks later. My soon-to-be ex-wife messaged today to tell me that she had a miscarriage. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know if her pregnancy was real or if she was trying to bait me into getting back together with her. She blamed me for the stress I caused when I requested paternity and for the stress her affair partner caused when he accused her of coming after me for my money. Basically, I found out from friends that she and her affair partner had a major fallout because she tried to distance herself from him and insisted the baby was mine, which resulted in him outing her, saying she only wanted to be with me, and wanted the baby to be mine, for my money. Because if I took her back, I'd have to pay for her medical bills, child support, and fund the lifestyle she had gotten used to. I never responded to her previous messages trying to bait me into accepting responsibility for the baby. She had been messaging me with updates on our baby, which she receives from a pregnancy app she is subscribed to. This sounds awful, but a part of me believes she was never pregnant and had to drop the act when she realized how seriously I was going after the paternity test. Either way, the show is over. I was extremely worried about being tied to this woman for another 18 years. So, I am happy that I won't be, but I am also surprisingly a little sad that I won't be having a kid. I hope one day, when the right person comes along, I'll get to experience fatherhood with her. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I am very, very happy that she isn't pregnant with your kid. Good for you. You still have a road ahead of you, and I wish you the same luck until it's over. Ops response. Thank you. It most certainly is a huge relief to not have to co-parent with her. I wanted a clean break, and I should finally be able to get one. Commenter 2. May I ask, have you talked to the other betrayed spouse, and how is her divorce process going? Ops response. His ex and I are friends and talk on a regular basis. She wants to be done and move on, as she has a lot going on with her mom. My ex-wife tried to complicate her life by stirring up drama, but she's smart and isn't easily baited. Now, with no pregnancy, and granted my ex doesn't get pregnant until the divorce is finalized, her divorce should continue smoothly, and she can move on.